Felicia 8 out of 14. Lindemann and Faulkner Park, meanwhile, hold their place in the market. But it's one-way traffic here, 122. How are they going to beat her?
Chantel, what have you got to report over there? How have the imports settled in? I'm seeing Full Count Felicia still travelling to the gates with the pony.
Yeah, she's with the pony, so I'll touch on her in another 60 seconds or so, but I wanted to touch on Almavier because I actually saw him down the tie-ups, and I said to the man strapping him, I said, what is that? And he told me it was him. I thought, wow, what a beautiful-looking European galloper. He's just a brute. He just looks absolutely superb arriving here. And I did notice that they had to change a few things up with him, so he must wear earplugs over in Europe, and I don't think they're allowed over here, so he had a set of earmuffs on just to get him to the gates, but he's arrived here really well. He's hot in different places, but he's climatised really well, to be fair, for one of these European horses, so he's great. Via's just gone in. I walked down the race with her, and she's just the sweetest. For a big brute of a mare, she's just so sweet and kind, and the strapper was telling me she's always like that, so that's always a good thing. At Full Count Felicia, she's just going into the gates. She's a lighter framed mare. She doesn't carry a great deal of condition, but she actually handled the yard pretty well, and Ash gave her a really good warm up, and she's just about to walk straight in. Faulkner Park is really good. He's come on nicely from his first up run, and of course Lindemann looks nice and bright. He's on the quick 7-day backup, and who did I miss? Golden Path. He's rock hard fit, but obviously this is a harder race.
Okay, last year Via Sistina beat Plaster Carousel and Buckaroo. Today, she runs long odds on. This is the Ranvet, over 2,000 metres, the first of 5 Group 1s on tab Golden Slipper Day. Here's Darren Flindell.
Locked and loaded. It's the first of 5 Group 1s, and the starter says go in the Ranvet Stakes, and jumping well towards the inside. Full Count Felicia, Golden Path away well, Lindemann away well. Via Sistina just flops in behind them, and so does Faulkner Park in the early stages, with Almavier just 3 horses wide, now 2 horses wide. So Full Count Felicia in front in the early stages, with Lindemann striding up on the outside. So National Willer in the seat here on the American mare. Full Count Felicia shows the way, and Lindemann, who's usually ridden by Nash, is going to take a sit in second spot. Golden Path third. Via Sistina moves to fourth now from Almavier, and a length off to Faulkner Park as they work down the back. And the glamour mare from America, Full Count Felicia, now with Yulong Australia, shows the way by 2. Lindemann in second position, and Via Sistina inching a bit closer on the inside of Golden Path. Almavier ridden with restraint, and Faulkner Park is happy to sit back last of all. So Full Count Felicia leading as expected. Inside the halfway mark at a controlled pace by National Willer. Full Count Felicia by 2.5 to Lindemann. Golden Path in third, just as Via Sistina locked up momentarily on the rails. 3/4 to Almavier, and Faulkner Park last about 6 off the lead. So Full Count Felicia free striding in the lead at the 750 by 2 on Lindemann second, then Golden Path, Via Sistina, Almavier, and Faulkner Park is last of all. So Full Count Felicia at the 450 leads the way from Lindemann, and now McDonald peels 3 wide on Via Sistina. Into the straight now. Lindemann got the better of Full Count Felicia, but here comes Via Sistina roping in Lindemann. Faulkner Park going to third, but Via Sistina rests the lead now from Lindemann. Inside the 150, Faulkner Park goes to third, but Via Sistina celebrating her anniversary with 7 Group 1s in Australia. The greatest in the land, Via Sistina. Won it by 2 lengths to Lindemann. Faulkner Park at odds runs third, and Full Count Felicia and Needed the Australian hit out fourth. A gap to Golden Path, and Almavier was last in.
She does it again, and she does it with ease. How are they ever going to beat her? Who's going to beat her? Via Sistina, James McDonald and Chris Waller. 113 career Group 1s for J-Mac. 176 for Chris Waller. McDonald's closing in on Oliver, and Waller's closing in on 200. Via Sistina wins the first Group 1 of the day. It's a Waller Quinella with Lindemann second and Faulkner Parker's in third.
Yeah, what can you say about her? Everything's been said about her in the past, and I'm sure it's going to be said about her in the future. What she's done here in Australia is amazing. She had them covered once she peeled on the turn. She was in touch with them. He was a little kind to her, give her a wake up the last little bit there, and she just does what she has to do and keeps delivering. Lindemann, he bounced back well there, had every hope there, and Faulkner Park, another very good run from him. He's flying at the moment, but he's just run into an absolute star.
She is, Ronnie. She's an absolute freak. Obviously, what you see is what you get. She just posed up there. I think J-Mac, for around about the half mile, he would have been having a little bit of a panic, thinking, what am I going to do here? But then once he got to about the 600 metre mark and he pushed Golden Path out of the way and give her a little bit of clean air, the race was pretty much all over at the top of the straight. So another massive win there by her.
Chris Waller this season has now won 15 Group 1 races, 6 of them with Via Sistina. We'll be back with those interviews with Chris and J-Mac and also the Rosehill Guineas. Out of Autumn Glow and saddling up Via Sistina.
Yeah, it's a privilege. She lit up our life literally 12 months ago today, and we had no idea what we were working with. And even that day, it was a Group 1 win, but who would have thought she's gone on to win 7 Group 1s now and throw a Cox Plate in there and other big feature Australian Group 1 races.
But you want a Queen Elizabeth now, and you couldn't have had a better prep run for that race?
It was perfect. Yeah, she had an economical run throughout. She was travelling well enough to angle out on the turn and just went through her gears nicely, and when the pressure comes into a race, that's when she knows how to perform.
And is she the type of mare where you've got her to the top, you've just got to keep her there?
Yeah, I thought she might have actually got away on me a little bit today. So I think there's improvement to come, believe it or not. That's what her weights would suggest. She just did a bit too well in between runs.
Okay, congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations, mate. Easy work of it.
Yeah, easy. Didn't need to overthink it.
Once she got clear running, it was pretty much all over.
Yeah, well, keeping it smooth and just getting her in a spot where she's like sort of sorted, and she'll do the rest. She's pretty good. I don't think we'll ever see a performance where she careers away like she did 7 lengths, but I think she must have got a fright from that Tuesday, because she just does what she has to do and maintains a good gallop.
1 down, 4 to go.
Let's hope so, fingers crossed.